You know, if you plan on doing any work around the house this weekend or any time of year, there is a message one local organization wants to get out. Be careful about lead paint. Lead paint is commonly found in older homes, and when exposed to chipping paint, kids can develop some real problems with the brain and other organs. This is a scenario that's way too familiar for one local mom and her daughter. The little girl wasn't even a year old when her landlord started doing some work on the house, and unbeknownst to them, all of the dust, it sent lead paint, all that dust throughout the house. And by the time it was figured out, that girl had a lead level of 50. A level of 5 is considered poisoning. She had to be hospitalized for 5 days, and she's still on medicine.
She was 10 months old, so the thought of her having to stay in the hospital was scary, nerve-wracking. I didn't know what to think. And I never once thought about her being in the hospital because of lead paint.
Randy tells us that her daughter will likely have side effects for the rest of her life. Learning disabilities, lower IQ scores. Her word of caution, even if you are aware of lead paint, you also need to know how to properly handle it. And for that, we're bringing in Paul Haan tonight, Executive Director of the Healthy Homes Coalition of West Michigan. Paul, your organization was the one that stumbled upon this story. Tell us how that happened.
Well, we went to the house to look at a myriad of health concerns, and we noticed that there was repainting going on at the time. It was a summer day, much like today, and the owner of the house was scraping paint, and the paint chips were everywhere.
How do you know if your home has lead paint in it? Is there a particular year, I guess, when the house was constructed that would give you a clue?
Any house built before 1978 could have lead-based paint in it because that's when the federal government banned the use of lead-based paint in housing. But if you go back before 1950, it's very present in our older housing.
So you talked about the paint chips. You know, I guess maybe the tendency would be to come in there with you know, a scraper and just start going at it, or a sander or a power washer or something like that, and you're saying no.
That's the way we used to do things, and unfortunately we know a lot more today, and we know about the hazards for kids, and we really got to take more precaution than just going out there with a scraper and going at it.
Are we talking about a full abatement, or is there something homeowners can do that's practical but also safe?
Right. Full abatement is warranted in some circumstances, but in many situations homeowners need to take just a couple simple steps. They need to set up some kind of containment or barrier, putting plastic down on the ground that's going to catch these paint chips so that they don't blow away. They need to use practices that are safe. They can't be power washing the house. You don't know where the paint chips are going to land. And if you're scraping the paint, don't do it on a windy day. Do it on a day when you can catch those chips and clean them up after you're done.
Sure. The little girl that was featured in that story, she didn't even show symptoms along the line. How do you know what to look out for?
Well, in that case, the symptom was the house itself. It was the conditions in the house. Other than that, children, when they're first exposed, aren't going to show symptoms, and so it's highly recommended that young children are tested at ages 1 and 2.
Yeah, let's find out what's going on, but be safe out there, certainly, if you're working around this weekend. Paul Haan with the Healthy Homes Coalition. Paul, thanks for your time.
Thank you.